whenever I was fighting, again, it was out of fear. I was trying to accept something that I didn't have control over. I don't have to try to heal that anymore. And so I was immobile, and I've based my whole life around, if not fitness, my mobility, what I could do, who I was, and that confidence. It's like feeling like it was taken away from me. Our expectations are false. We expect people to bring us our happiness, and that's not the way it works. Right. Why are you afraid of yourself?
The fear of failure.
Yeah, well, so failure
That, or being wrong.
I can be confident enough to believe in myself. Or my insecurities come from not being able to protect those that I like, know, and trust, and those that I love and hope love me.
Hey there, welcome to the Mental Perk podcast. I'm Carla Hutcherson, licensed professional counselor.
And I'm Brandy Mock, entrepreneur, author, and community leader. And we're here to talk about
real people, real issues, and real talk.
Today on Mental Perk, we are joined by my old mentor coach, Chris Jones. I love him, a Dallas native whose journey from boxing ring into the boardroom is all about grit, about growth and heart. Once a fighter, now a leader in roofing and life. Chris is a disciplined resilience and real talk on everything he does. From training others to building his business to raising a beautiful family, and I mean beautiful family. Chris shows us that the fight doesn't end in the ring. Let's dive into his powerful story and reinvention of himself. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I think...
Is it true? Is it true?
Yeah.
Wait, are you talking about me?
Both of you. Like, wow. Like, I'm sorry. I blush purple. It's different.
Blush purple.
I think... I never think we're, like, really truthfully reinventing ourselves. I think we're just adding layers to who we already are.
Yeah.
And I'm experiencing that now.
Yeah.
I think I'm in like a sweet spot right now.
That's good.
I just turned 35.
That's a baby. He's a baby.
So I just turned 35.
Mm-hmm.
I'm figuring me out.
Yep.
So I started boxing when I was 12. My mother was a fan. I have my great-grandfather before he passed was a great boxer. I have a cousin who was a great boxer, world champion, and
You have a cousin that was a world champion?
Mm-hmm.
What was his name?
Jesse Benavides.
Benavides, okay.
So
That sounds like a fighter name.
Yeah.
Benavides.
So I'm mixed. I'm half Hispanic, half black. They boxed, and so it was always an idea in my mother's head. For me, boxing was never like my passion. I think I started fighting out of fear.
Okay, so explain to us about the fighting out of fear.
I would like to know.
Was it pressure from the family, or was it you getting
No,
bullied?
not even. So I did, and I've never been bullied.
Okay.
But life was different.
Okay.
And so in order to protect, I'm the oldest of 11.
The oldest of 11?
So I have an older brother, half brother, but he looks at me like his big brother.
Yeah.
So that means you still have very young siblings then, right?
I'm 35,
so I'm thinking...
I think of my sister, what's today? Saturday?
Yeah.
It's Saturday.
Okay, so tomorrow my sister turns 21. My youngest sister.
So she's the baby.
That's the baby.
That's the baby, okay.
She turns 21 tomorrow.
21.
So we're just...
I forgot you had 11 in your family.
I mean, that's like one every year.
And they're all
Damn
beautiful. Like
damn near.
They're all
I was
very
gonna
good
say,
looking.
Yes.
Damn near.
Family.
I can
mean,
imagine.
Yeah.
Cute as can be. Good
Well,
looking.
thank you.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I am.
No, but they all, because I remember your brothers and stuff coming to the gym and working out with us.
I told Tyler I was coming to see you.
I love me
He was
some
like,
Tyler.
"What?"
Yeah, I love
He's
me
like,
some
Can I
Tyler.
show up? Like, no.
Sorry, Tyler.
You're not invited.
It's invite only.
Yeah, 100%.
Tyler next time. Tyler.
But Tyler, hi, I miss you, cutie pie.
But,
boxing.
Yeah, no. So everyone's very small.
Mm-hmm.
My mother was a single mother at the time, and she was a single mother up until 8 kids, and then she married my stepfather, and then everyone else came aboard.
God, that's a lot, though. 8
Can
kids
you
and being single.
imagine?
Yeah,
And I've met your mom. She's beautiful, and she doesn't
Thank
look
you.
She doesn't
Thank
look like
you.
she's had.
But yeah, stepdad
kids.
was still a little funny. Like
Oh my gosh,
He's-
she had to
I
be
wouldn't have
like,
done that.
Yeah.
having all of y'all just like, she's probably had that look down.
my mom is unique. She is very faith bound, but more importantly, like if she believes something, it's gonna happen. It's just like the
I love that
energy
in her.
around
Yeah.
her. It's
Yes.
just crazy.
Yeah.
She, my mom would having all these kids. You would think that okay, this woman can't have a career. She can't find herself. There's a lot of factors going against her.
Mm-hmm.
But my mom's an Olympic boxing coach. After all the kids,
What?
And she's
like
pretty
my
bad.
my
Yeah.
mother has a world champion underneath her belt now that they're getting ready to fight in New York.
Really?
Who is this?
Does she?
Shredda Metcalf, a woman.
Okay, I was wondering, does she train women or men or both?
Both.
Okay,
Yeah, she's
like,
she's
she's
pretty.
like-
She's pretty bad.
My mom is
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
that is
Like,
amazing.
Yeah. So which trickles down, and everyone gets a taste of it, and we all
She's
become
like a
great.
can-do person. You can't say can't in her.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Like my mom is phenomenal.
She is phenomenal.
I got very lucky, blessed.
Yeah,
whatever.
you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Goodness.
at the time, rolling it back in, nobody necessarily had a voice and or could protect themselves, and so I started fighting out of fear of not having a voice and
And your mom. So your mom at that time was already fighting, right? Or
No,
was
my
she?
mom never fought.
But coaching. She wasn't doing any of that.
She
So-
started doing all that when we started fighting.
Okay,
So she
you're
like
about
learned
12.
from you, like she just kind of watched and learned, and just learned how to really then teach the
We got
sport.
to a point where she was a few years in, and then she decided she was going to open her own gym for us.
So she just learned by experience. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, we had family in the game, but like not close enough.
Yeah.
Corpus Christi, Austin, Texas, and we're out here in Dallas. So like, you just think about the distance. So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
And so you started fighting at 12.
Mm-hmm.
And did you do it all the time then, or?
For a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really long days. A lot of crying, a lot of running, a lot of showing up for things that.
A lot of discipline.
A lot of discipline.
A lot of discipline.
Yeah, just the grit of discipline.
Yeah. And then you started feeding that into you as you got older, you started giving back. I mean, because I can tell you right now, the best shape I'd ever been in was when I was going to your gym
I appreciate
and
that.
working out. No, I'm serious.
I just wish I would have taken care of it and appreciated it a lot more than I needed to.
Yeah, but I think that's just life and growing up, right? It's like,
Fair.
it's a part of the things you go through, and realizing, hey, this is not where you want to be in life. Then you learn that early on.
Fair.
Right?
That's fair.
Because you're
But
in
it's
your
still a
mid-20s
skill.
when you were coaching me.
Yeah, I was in my 20s.
Yeah, you're in your 20s. And you had a good group of people.
Yeah.
And it's still a skill you can go back to.
100%. And I'm debating it. I have people still calling me to this day trying to get me to train them.
Oh, for sure. I
so
mean, it's
I have people who have put deposits down for me to train them.
Is it
and
like
I just
riding a
haven't.
bike?
No.
You get back on it and you go?
No, because I feel like that even still has some scrapes and bruises.
Yeah.
So I would say it's more like riding a motorcycle because the adrenaline
Yeah.
and how fast paced it needs to be, because people want results yesterday.
Yeah.
And so you're going to have to like really tailor something now. And I know right now, and for me, and unfortunately, I hate this, that I had to go like until I'm 35 to understand this, but like it's not a profitable business if you can't scale it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't in a position to scale,
Yeah.
and or I didn't have the mentality for it.
Yeah.
So as far as like if we were talking like some real business, like I was bound to fail. I think 2020 was like the best thing for me because I wasn't mentally prepared for what I had.
You know what? And I love how you brought that up, because I think 2020 actually did that not just to you, it did it to a lot of people.
Yeah.
It was you're forced to have to stop and think about, is this going to feed my family? Is this going to feed me? Is this bringing me joy?
Right. And it did bring me joy.
I know
I
it
mean,
did.
it'd be a lie to say it didn't.
Yeah.
Like the people that I had, like it was
I mean, I
more
know.
it was more than just the fitness. It was
is.
the community.
It is a
And it's
community,
so
yeah.
hard to build culture around anything.
Yeah.
And so especially if you can establish that in a business, oh wow, chef's kiss.
Yeah.
But we were at a position to where I was so young and I didn't understand finance. I didn't understand scalability. I didn't understand profitability, KPIs, anything. And I wasn't doing anything but just existing. And just existing in something that you couldn't scale and or see a exit for and or envision, like you're bound to like let it go.
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
And so that's what I had to deal with.
Well, I love, 2020 gets such a negative vibe, right?
100%.
But you're saying
It was the best thing that ever happened to me.
I love that you're putting a positive spin
do
on
too.
it, because I think people need to start looking at 2020 was a reset button.
Yes,
right?
it was.
And
it's very rare. It never happened. I doubted it happened again in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Let's hope it doesn't.
Right? Yeah, we hope.
Right.
Let's hope it doesn't. Because
So-
the lessons learned for that.
It reset you. How did it reset you? What did you do different?
So to give context, during that time, I tore both my Achilles. And so I was immobile. And I've based my whole life around, if not fitness, my mobility.
Right.
And what I was able to show people I could do,
Yeah.
what I could do, who I was. And that confidence, it's like I earned that. So, like, feeling like it was taken away from me, really, like it, I can't necessarily put it into words, but it was a lot.
Today's episode is sponsored by Hudson Financial Group. At Hudson Financial Group, their goal is to make sure your life is fully covered. Do you truly understand your current insurance coverages? Are you protected for the things you need and not paying for the things you don't? Come by and let them help maximize and understand your coverage. With access to multiple carriers, they'll find the best protection at your best price for you. Whether it's home, auto, farm, and ranch commercial coverages, bonds, life insurance, or financial planning, Hudson Financial Group is your one-stop shop for insurance and retirement needs. Stop by today.
And so that all happened, and then so I had to start using my brain. And I was like, it even got to a point where I was thinking about, what's his name? Stephen Hawkins. How, like, he was so smart, brilliant mind, but immobile, like chilling in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Like, that to me, I was like, damn, is that what I'm becoming? And it got to a point where, like, I just started reading, started learning, and I started learning, like, I had to dissect everything I've already been taught and relearn everything I needed to learn. And, well, it's kind of brought me to today. Like, I'm in a nice position. So.
Well, tell us a little bit about what you're doing today.
Now I'm in sales. Sales has taught me a lot.
Yeah, it will, won't it? Yeah.
I'm trying to learn the sales. I'm trying to learn the industry of
You're
sales
already in
right
it.
now.
You're already in it.
It's the rejection.
Man, isn't it? It's sales is funny. It has been the hardest year of my life because I'm fresh in the game. I've always been in sales, just not realizing that's how we're able to build a community.
Yep.
But now that I've
When you have to do it.
Fixated on it, like now that I'm thinking about it, it just changes all the game. It changes everything. And so now that I'm in this position, and this year, it's been the hardest year of my life. The hardest year of my life, but the most rewarding. I've been blessed. I've 10x my money. Like, things have, like, so I'm thinking, I come up from a family with a lot of people.
Right.
Income is limited. It's only one source of income, and love my mom to death, but she's more faith and blood and passion opposed to, well, nickel diming. This is how we compound that. This is how we're gonna scale this, like things like that. And so, we were on a limited income, and now I'm seeing money that I'm like, damn, this is possible.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me there's so much more out here?
Yeah.
And all I had to do was a little bit more of this.
Yeah.
I was right there on the cusp of, and I didn't know how.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Do you have any tips for people out there when they're on that cusp?
The hardest part is gonna be everything you're experiencing, but you're not alone.
Yeah.
And so if you need a community for that, reach out, because the worst thing you could do is not reach out and understand that you're not alone. But even more so, you're right there.
You're right there.
You are right there.
Yeah. Don't doubt yourself.
Oh my gosh, like that is the worst thing you could do.
Yeah.
Doubt yourself?
Yeah.
Look, you got yourself here.
Yeah.
You're already here.
Yeah.
One more day.
And you know the genius thing, because I've had the opportunity to meet your little ones. And how old are the little ones now?
So my oldest is 17.
What?
That's crazy.
My oldest is 17. My middle son is 14, and my daughter's 9.
I can't believe they're that old now. holy cow. But two, you talk about that, you know, your kids will even see things in you that you don't see in yourself.
And I get that a lot.
And it's refreshing though, because you know when someone's not in your corner, those babies are always in your corner because they look up to you.
Yeah.
You know I remember seeing them. They loved their daddy in that gym, and I mean I can tell you right now, any of our old gym rat people that were in the gym with us, that was my highlight of the day, coming to the gym, and you forcing us, and he forced us like to hit it hard. He'd call you out.
Yeah.
But it was in a positive way. It was in a way that was lifting you up because he saw something in you that you didn't see in yourself.
It's everything they always wanted. They just
Yeah.
need someone to tell them.
Yeah.
And you did.
And I'm just happen to be there.
Yeah.
But like the really cool thing about like my kids being the age that they are now is, well, I say cool thing. Unfortunately, it comes with a lot of growth, and
Sure.
it comes with a lot of more negative than positive. And
Yeah.
so I'm finally at a point where now I can have conversations with my oldest son.
Mm-hmm.
We can hug. Like there was a while where like we definitely fixate on all the images that we get through our day to day, whether it be social media, any type of media really, but just the people that we interact with. And so my relationship with my son was a little different, and because he saw me when I was I had him when I was 17.
Yeah.
I'm 35 now. He's 17. So like.
He saw you growing up.
100%.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like.
Well, I mean, and here's the good thing. I say good thing because I was a young mom too. And once your kids get to that age, they have a whole new respect and idea of, holy cow, I can't imagine having a kid at this age.
Yeah.
I can't imagine trying to feed them. And
unfortunately, it takes that much time.
It does. But then isn't that the great thing that time does fix things sometimes?
It is. It does have its.
It's got its way of getting your attention, 100%. Of course.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it is refreshing to know that there's always that, like Carla said, the reset button, and or the realization that time can make things better, or time can change your perspective on things. And sometimes it takes it from another person to tell you that, or it takes just COVID 2020.
That's fair.
To open your eyes up to it, but. Time can be a healer, I think, for sure.
So tell us a little bit about your relationship with your son. How is it changing now, especially?
So now now he feels comfortable coming to me, and so I've always done this thing where like I allow my kids to debate me, because one thing I was very fearful of is them getting to a point of authority, and because discipline was very important, quote unquote. So I didn't want them to get to a point of like thinking that they couldn't combat authority if it didn't feel right in their gut, mind, heart, and spirit. And so what I did is like I would allow them to combat me, and allow them, if they believe something, cool, we debate about it. And if they're wrong, we'd acknowledge it. But if I was wrong, I would acknowledge that as well.
I love that.
I do
But you're
too.
teaching them to have a mind of their own.
100%.
You're teaching them to form an opinion and to think critically.
Well, isn't that the goal?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. So that has been impactful for us. But even more so, like, there was a point where, like, and he even brings it up to me. He was like, Dad, like, I felt like I wasn't good enough for you when I was younger. And that, like, it.
That stings.
Makes it hit you in the gut.
Man, because, like, I never would, like, want to inflict that on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you're my.
Yeah. You're
You
my
wanted
baby.
him to find
Yeah.
all the good, the strength in himself. You wanted him,
Right.
like, so you pushed him. And in his interpretation, led him to believe like he wasn't good enough.
And that's not fair.
Yeah.
But the fact that you acknowledged it, and also too that you've got this open dialogue with him now, to where he can tell you that.
That's the goal.
That's the goal, and that goal's been met. And guess what? That example's being set for the younger siblings, correct?
100%.
And so it's one of those things that, and then your beautiful wife.
She is dope. Like
she really is beautiful.
I thank you.
Yeah.
I think so as well.
I do too.
And I got very lucky.
And you got beautiful kids. So, but yeah,
Yeah, that's all her.
Yeah, it
I
is.
just
I know.
I just
I
happen
know
to be
that.
there.
I don't know about
you
that.
just happen to
I
be
just
the
happen to be
donator,
there.
right?
I just happen to be there.
Is she doing good?
She's good.
Good.
She is always very strong.
Yeah, I know
because
she is.
there was like a little time in my 20s where we just weren't together, and there was a little span, about 5 years, where we just didn't have any communication. And once we got back together and everything, I I think it was more so that what broke us apart is that I couldn't acknowledge her strength. I needed to be everything she needed me to be, but I promised her the moon and the stars, and I didn't even know how to get to the spaceship. Like I was still promising things I didn't even believe. And so once I kind of evolved into who I am, and she like, unfortunately, like, well, no, I say unfortunately, but like she knows my good, my bad, my indifferent. She knows exactly who I am. So like the journey that we've been on, like now it's like I get to really acknowledge her strength.
I love that.
Because she had to deal with a lot of things.
She did.
A lot of different parts of me that I'm not necessarily happy about.
But you know, the great thing about her, and I kind of sensed it when I didn't get to know her very well, but whenever I was around her, you talk about that strength. And I know for a fact she saw something in her husband that you didn't see in yourself. And I think that's why she stuck in there and just loved you through it.
I'm blessed.
You are blessed, but your family's so gorgeous. It's
Thank
such
you.
a beautiful family.
Thank you.
I think what you're saying is so powerful.
Yeah, and what I think is people give up on relationships too fast, but your story is
100%.
saying, you know, we have such a high divorce rate. Why is that? Because people give up, right? They don't fight for those relationships.
So give up is, yes, it's definitely, I agree with you on that. But like to take it a step further, I think that our expectations are false.
Yeah.
So like we expect people to bring us our happiness, and that's not the way it works.
Right.
Like I have to show up with mine and hope that you can like meet me in the middle. My goal, hypothetical relationship, is not to put more weight on you or you on me, but more so for us to meet there, understand each other's differences, and see what we can create together. And we get so like distracted by everything around us that we lose our fixation about our person. And and when I'm counseling couples, I mean, that's the very thing. I'm saying you can't depend on that other person to make your life, you know, happier or better. You have to bring that to the table, right? Agree.
A healthy marriage is two healthy individuals choosing to be together, right? And so you have to be able to be a whole you to make that relationship whole. Yeah.
That right there, be a whole you.
Yeah.
Like you're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'll say, you know, almost in my 50s, and I think I'm at the first point in my life where I'm figuring out who I am. And so there's not a date or a time on that.
No, at all.
Not a date or time.
It never has.
It's a process.
It's a process.
I think the best part is you being honest about that.
Yeah.
That's the power.
Yeah, and sometimes here's the deal. You don't know where to even start, right? Sometimes you don't even know where to start. You know what's going to give you a temporary fix and happiness. That's not the whole.
Agreed.
And so it takes a minute sometimes, and I think it's encouraging to hear you talk about it because I don't think it's ever too late to feel that wholeness, you know?
No, it's not.
I mean, it's part of who we are and it's part of life. And the teaching moments, the people that come across your life in the process are what kind of get you that point sometimes.
I agree.
Whether it's your wife or your children or your career. So you're working now, doing the business thing, doing sales. What's been the biggest thing you've experienced between going from the gym to
well, if I'm being completely honest, nothing.
Okay.
It's always been me.
Yep.
It's just a matter of my
You're
mindset.
just applying it now?
100%.
Yeah.
So what did you take out of your coaching boxing to doing what you're doing now, coaching?
Leadership.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about
Leadership.
what skills kind of transferred over.
Tonality is very important. Conversation, being able to articulate things. Definitely speaking well is very good. But most importantly, just follow through.
Yeah.
So it's not about what you know or how you know it. It's more so how you apply it and how you're willing to go get it.
Yes.
So I put myself in a position to understand, to be compatible in that sense. But more importantly, if I don't know something, I'll go find it. And I'm willing to like meet you in the middle. Like I'll meet you where you're at. If you show me who you are, I believe you.
Right.
And I will take that as face value, and I'll figure out how to make you to that next person, because I believe that. So that's how coaching tied in.
Yeah.
I've always believed in the person. They came to me with something. I believed in them. And if they needed me to push them a little bit further, I would. It's always been like that. Yeah.
He pushed me so hard I got a hernia.
well, shit. My bad.
And I'm not lying.
I believe you.
I know you believe me. That big freaking tire you made me flip.
Oh my god.
Okay, but that was a good one.
Okay, it was a good one.
All right, see?
I'll have to play the video. I'll have to find the video because it was funny.
It was a good
He was
one.
giving me the worst time. I mean, it's a big tractor tire.
Yeah.
Not a middle,
No,
not a little one. It's a big one.
Yes.
And he'd be like, I know you flip harder, flip faster. And I'm like, I'm dying here. I'm dying. But he believed in something.
No,
I didn't die,
she
but
did not die.
I did slip a hernia.
But so the thing with Brandy is like Brandy's very smart.
Yeah.
And a lot of her growth has been like in a male-dominated industry.
Yeah. True.
And
Very
being
true.
in those kind of industries, like she had to put a certain facade on.
Yeah.
And I know this. Like,
you do.
and so her doing that, like I had an ability. I wouldn't say ability. I had an opportunity to get to know her on a deeper level.
Yeah.
And so once I kind of figure out your pain points and what you're willing to push for, I'm gonna press on it
And he
because
did.
that's
He did.
that's what she asked.
Yeah, I
and,
did.
And it had nothing to do with me. It had nothing to do with anyone around her. It had to do with what her goals were for herself.
Yeah.
And so if you just, and that goes for anyone, if you give the platform and allow them to thrive, you'd be surprised. And
But you got to be willing to be open to that criticism. You got to be willing to
100%.
say, okay, if you tell me to do something, I need to try to apply it. If it doesn't work, you're going to give me an alternative way of doing it.
And that's what we did.
But
And
I
that's what you did.
I think criticism gets a bad rap, right?
It does.
I mean,
It actually
people
does.
think of it negatively, but we really can't grow without it, right? So, I mean, we have to give criticism credit for
I
what it
agree.
does. It elicits change.
I agree.
No, and you were really good about, and still are, just about, you see
It's
that-
how you say it.
Yeah, how you say it. But you also, he was always so funny, too, in the gym.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
he'd mark some sarcastic stuff on the board
Every once in a while.
every once in a while. And it was just you walked in with a smile. I don't know. There's never been a time in my life when I walked into the gym with a smile on my face.
Yeah.
I don't do
still-
that. I don't do that now.
I do every time I go.
I don't. But I would
I
do
love
it.
it.
I would do it when I knew, because I knew I was going to get whatever I could.
Yeah,
And I knew he was
exactly.
going to push me to do stuff that I wasn't sure if I could do it, but I was going to try.
100%.
You know? So it was always refreshing. So are you doing any boxing at all anymore?
I stopped fighting when I was 30.
When you're 30, do you think you'll ever get back into it?
I've had some opportunities. I actually recently had an opportunity, and I don't know. I think right now I don't have to try to heal that anymore.
Yeah.
And whenever I was fighting, again, it was out of fear, but I was trying to accept something that I didn't have control over.
Mm-hmm.
And more so, I'm not trying to go too deep on that, but I was just a different person. And so now I'm at a point where, like, my mind, my heart, and everything that I don't have to physically control like that is kind of taking the front row right now.
Mm-hmm.
So your mom made a living out of coaching
No.
at the end, right? Like coaching.
Well, yeah, she's made a lot of money, like, coaching. But,
Coaching.
like, that's not... My mom was just my mom. I don't even think she had, like, a real job until after we were already done.
Yeah. But when she found her job, it was through coaching. And you obviously have a talent coaching.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that something, like, you see yourself doing?
Pursuing?
Yeah.
So I had a younger brother who's doing that. Now he's traveling,
Yeah.
going to all these big camps and doing all those things. My mom has asked me to help her, like, with programming, and so has my sister, because that's what their interest is
Yeah.
in right now. For me, would I do it? It'd be like a case by case.
Yeah.
Like, it really just depends to take me out of that shell. It's always in my heart. Just right now,
It's not in the plans right
You're
now.
in a different path right now.
Sales messed me up.
Sales messed me up.
I'll tell you how it messed you up. I know for sure, like, I could go in the gym and I could box. Even if I didn't know it, I was confident that I would be taught and I'd do it. It was the fear of rejection for me. Anytime someone said no, when I knew I was going to give them a good product and I was going to follow through and I was going to, like, just give me that chance to prove myself to you. And there's nothing worse than someone going, sorry, dude, I just don't, I'm not right now.
The hunt.
Yeah.
The hunt
Yeah.
is what
And
I'm
then
good
once
at.
you get the taste at one of them, sky's the limit.
And I've been able to negotiate some deals. Like, when I mean I've gotten good. So last year was my first year, and I did 2.1 by myself.
Good for you.
So
I'm
you've
good.
learned the art of not hearing no.
And what's a no?
What is it
A
now?
no is a potential yes. That means I didn't do my job and inform you enough.
Yes.
I love that.
You
I
give
do
me a
love that.
product, you give me enough opportunity to learn it, I'm gonna sell it.
Yeah.
Because my mindset is, if I'm going to the closing table and we're still negotiating,
You didn't do your job.
I didn't do my job.
Yeah.
I'm so fascinated right now with the art of communication, the art of debate.
Yes.
Like I do it again. I do it at my own personal home, but like just
I love a
talking,
good debate.
Like, oh my gosh, like
You're
it's
quick-
it's
you're
like
quick to-
fighting.
yeah.
It's like being in the
You
ring
got to
again.
be ready to
me.
respond, right?
100%.
Yeah.
I got to be able to block. I got to be able to rebuttal. I got to be able to weave. I got to it's like being
Yeah.
underneath the lights again.
No, I do agree with that.
I'm so serious.
I know you're serious, but I can just see you talking to someone while you're talking. You're like, you sure you don't want to make that?
Oh, I'm telling you.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just sales. I love sales.
You know what? It was funny because I was obviously that was my whole business was sales.
I remember.
And, you know, if you didn't make the sale, you didn't feed your family. And, you know, for a long time I was single with my kids. And, you know, after a while, after you do it, but I'll tell her I hate sales. I absolutely hate sales.
Same.
I hate the pressure. I hate, you know, but once that
It's
door opens
necessary.
up, it is necessary. Once that door opens up, it just takes one time.
That's it.
And then the floodgates open. And then you're like, okay, I got this. Like, I know exactly what I'm going to be doing.
Yeah.
But until you get to that part, and then any no you get after that, you're like, you just missed
Okay.
out. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And what are you saying? What are you really saying no to? So what are your pain points?
Yeah.
Is it a financial thing? Okay,
Yeah.
we can discuss that.
Yeah.
Is it you just don't like what is it?
Yeah.
Like what's the truth?
Yeah.
Because any smoke screen you feed me, I know that's just the first thought you thought of.
He's going to bob and weave around it. Bob and weave around it.
100%.
Yeah.
I love that.
No, it's true, though.
100%.
Very true. So do you see yourself, what does future Chris look like?
Future Chris is I'm 35. By the time I'm 40, I'll be retired.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm gonna scale the company that I'm with to a phenomenal amount, get our EBITDA up, and then I'm gonna sell to a PE.
Love it. That's a great goal.
Well, I know they're loving you right now.
That's what I want.
Wow.
Then we start something else?
That's what I want.
You
So,
just, what does retired Chris look like, you think?
maybe some real estate.
Yep.
Get a couple properties. Do the thing. Let it do itself. Ultimately, I just want my time.
Yeah.
I want to buy back my time. So the quickest way I can do that, that's what I'm gonna do.
So going back to your kids, have you been training them in boxing or martial arts?
So
or
they
any of
did
that?
boxing for a little while
Yeah.
with me when I started. I don't do it anymore. But once I was done doing my own boxing gym, I started working for a few other boxing gyms before I got back into sales hardcore. Got into sales hardcore. I worked at Mayweather Boxing Fitness. I was actually asked to do a couple of boxing gyms, and I stuck with Mayweather Boxing Fitness, and I did Garland Police Boxing Club.
Nice.
Garland Police Boxing Club is a nonprofit. That's where I started, and so I took my kids for a little while. They have the basics down, but when I couldn't upkeep it, I took them out. They do boxing. They do basketball now.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like I've done them a disservice because I haven't taught them everything they need to know as far as like physically taking care of themselves. But I also know my own insecurities have not allowed me to do that because I don't want them to go through some of the things that I had to go through in order to get to where I'm at.
So there seems to be this underlying issue with insecurities. So
100%.
can you talk about this a little bit?
Yeah, my insecurities?
Yeah.
My main insecurities are, I don't necessarily have, like, insecurities in the sense of, like, I don't believe in myself or things like that. I can be confident enough to believe in myself.
Yes.
I think more of my insecurities come from not being able to protect those that I like, know, and trust, and those that I love and hope love me.
Okay.
So that's I think that sometimes I fall short on those kind of things, and I'm not able to. I'm not a control freak, but like I need to have like
Structure.
yeah, at least bare minimum, and like I do. Well, I mean, I lied. I kind of am a control freak.
Yeah. It sounds like there's a huge that you have a real connection to needing to protect.
Yeah,
And
100%.
And while that can be good, it's also gotten in your way.
More times than not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of
You're not
keeps
lying.
you. It's kind of keeping you at bay from some things.
Yeah. Well, just because I feel like I got a lot of people to protect.
Yeah. Is that because you think like, was there? I can't remember. I'm going to ask you, and you don't have to address this. Did you have your father figure in your life quite a bit when you're growing up?
So no, not necessarily.
Okay. So was there a fear of abandonment maybe, and that's why you want to make
No,
sure
not
your
at
kids?
all.
Not at all.
No.
Okay.
Not abandonment per se.
Yeah.
He texts me every day a Bible verse.
Oh.
That's his way of connecting.
Yeah.
More so, he was just not the nicest person to my mother,
Okay.
and I had to inherit that.
Okay.
And you being the oldest of 11, you kind of took on that role.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't. There wasn't really up for option.
Yeah. You were the man of that. You were the man, basically,
My
raising
mom
the
needed
kids.
me, so
Yeah.
I did what I had to.
Yeah.
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 So that makes sense. And that's kind of carrying over to your kids.
I had to, yes and no. Like my wife is very good, and so she knows who I am like through and through. I met her when I was 12.
Yeah.
And so she has like this ability to be like, all right,
Yeah.
separate, calm down.
That's what we're
chill.
good for, though.
100%.
You know.
And like she's been able to really help me be a better dad
I love that.
because I can't communicate everything that I'm feeling, especially in like a moment of anxiety when I'm just like overwhelmed and I never lash out or anything like that. I go to this cold stare.
Shut down.
I just shut down.
Yeah.
100%. And so she tells me all the time. She's like, you didn't have a childhood, so that's why we do certain things.
Oh, yeah.
And I couldn't fathom what she was saying when she was saying it.
Yeah.
But, you do a little bit
Yeah.
more thinking about it, and she's absolutely right.
You know what? Kudos to your wife, though, for being patient enough to see that, but also help pull you through it. Like
She's cold. Like,
she's cold.
she's cold.
Sometimes you got to be cold. Sometimes.
She's good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm blessed to have her. Like, and even, like, her patience. Like, I'm a lot to deal with for the most part. And, like, she's got some patience on her. So. And then all my kids act like me, so it's like, shitty.
Oh, wow. They do?
Yeah, they're awesome.
Your poor wife.
They're so funny, but yeah.
Yeah, no, they're funny
awesome.
like you. If they're funny like you,
They're good. They're really good.
It's going to be, yeah.
They're
It's an
good.
entertaining household, I'm sure.
We have a great time.
I bet you do.
I bet
you do.
I mean, it sounds like, just based on your situation, mental health, you had to really find your way in understanding your own mental health because you had so many challenges that you probably didn't want to burden other people with.
Oh, yeah, the
that you
control
kept
part.
a lot of it in.
I'm very self-aware,
Yeah.
and
That's
I'm very high-strung.
Yeah.
For the most part, and not high-strung in the sense that like I lash out, but I'm very high-strung in the sense that I'm very worried, clammy hands.
Got that anxiety going?
Yeah, all the time.
Internalizer? Internalize everything?
100%.
Is that because and that's the control part too, partly, but is that also too because you Because I mean, you're opening up with us, great.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm always able to talk. I can speak about anything.
Yeah.
But we're still kind of surface. You're still
100%.
not going
I'm always
down.
surface level.
Yeah.
But,
That's
you know,
what-
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're not going
100%.
deep, deep.
you're giving surface answers,
Yeah,
but it's
100%.
enough to understand that you have some walls there. You have some walls.
Hidden life walls and our borders.
Yeah. Yeah. So, with your experience you've gone through, how are you making sure your kids don't do the same thing Chris does?
So I'm not in control of that. And so that's definitely an understanding of just understanding that I can't be in control of that. They're going to have their own perspective, their own experience, and I can only hope that they love me as much as I love them.
But the fact that you're opening up with them now to where your son, like your son can come to you and stuff, that to me is a huge
Right,
door
and
open.
that's been a huge shift, and that
Yeah.
that took a while.
Sure.
But I think what helped him is seeing how other people confide in me, knowing that, oh wow, Dad might be a safe space. He's more than just my dad.
Yeah.
I think that's helped a lot. Not saying the door hadn't always been open, because
No, of course not. I mean,
I was definitely different.
I think we all go
but-
through those phases, though, as parents, because, you know, you're so focused on, I don't know, the fear of making a mistake with your kid or, you know, misdirecting them or misguiding them that the kids just see you as a parent instead of, and
Right.
I'm a friend to my kids now. You know,
Well, so they're at the age to be friends.
they're at the
I'm
age
not at
to-
the age
you're not
to
at that
be
age
friends
yet, but
That's a good distinction.
It is a
right?
really
if
good
you do a
distinction.
good job as a parent and be their parent when they're young, you'll have the ability to be their friend when they're older.
I 100% agree, because now I am friends with my mom.
yeah.
Right.
Yes.
And we've even discussed that. My mom will voice it from the top of the fucking mountain, freaking mountain. she's like, oh wow, I can be friends with my friends with my kids now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we're at that age.
It's so much fun. But now you're 17-year-old. He's still a kid, but
Right.
he's at that age though to where he's able to come to you and say, "Dad," and have these conversations with you without fear. And I think honestly, I don't know the situation, the dynamics, but I think having that relationship with him is going to show the younger ones that they're able to do that maybe sooner than the 17-year-old.
Oh, they are. It's already happened.
Okay.
Yeah,
Isn't that
so
amazing though?
So this is like part of my own growth process.
Yeah.
Like before my eldest son knew he could do that, my youngest daughter and already been
Y'all
like
were
that.
already doing it.
We're already like,
So
I
he
don't
must-
talk to my daughter like she's a baby.
Yeah.
I talk to my daughter like she's a person, because she is.
Yeah.
And we have conversations about, and sometimes
Sometimes you don't want to hear
You're like,
about
la, 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 la.
earmuffs.
you know,
Yeah.
and she's going through her girl thing, and she's
yeah.
like, Dad, my cousin is like just being rude to me. She wants to be my best friend, but this other girl wants to be my best friend. We're just not going to talk to them right now. I just need a break. I was like, all right, baby, what do you want to do? How are we going to handle it? Who are you going to talk to first? And why are we in this point to where we're arguing about it? And why are you giving that much satisfaction to control your emotions? Like, what are we doing here?
Okay. I
She's
like
like, oh, Dad, well, it's because, wow, you're right, Dad. And then we talk about it, and we figure it out. And then my middle son, that's my dude. Like he's
your dude.
he's my dude. Like we'll talk about everything.
Yeah.
His interest, what he likes, what he dislikes, because he sees the elder dynamic and my youngest daughter's dynamic, and he's right in the middle. So he okay, I see what my sister gets away with and how they communicate.
That middle
See what my
child
older
can work
brother
it.
is.
Yeah.
And so we have a relationship. It's just kind of it's broad. It's whatever he wants to talk about, but
Yeah.
more importantly, he's not afraid to show his interest. And so it gives me an opportunity to learn a lot about myself, how I am, how different perspectives see me, how my wife sees me, each of my children see me, my siblings, and just kind of trickles down from there, but or trickles up, sideways, left, right, whatever. But I'm very self-aware, so I get an opportunity to see how people treat me, how they respond to me, and doing that with my family has been just very impactful.
I love the concept of self-awareness
I do, too.
because I don't think enough people really put value in that. And I feel like people can grow a lot more when they really learn the value of self-awareness. And it's not being, again, critical. It's about, understanding these are my strengths, these are my weaknesses, this is where I need to grow, this is what I need to work on. These are the distortions I'm caught up in my head, thinking the way I'm thinking, my cognitive thoughts, all of those things. But being self-aware really, really allows us the opportunity to not only see things from our perspective, but to see it from others. And so it really helps with that communication and connection.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And it's very powerful.
But people are scared of it. They're scared of being self-aware.
And that's the funny thing.
Yeah.
Because that means they're scared of themselves.
Yeah.
If you break it down to its core meaning, why are you afraid of yourself?
The fear of failure.
Yeah. Well, so failure
That,
doesn't,
or being wrong.
But I have never learned more than being wrong.
Yes.
You and me both. I
Yeah.
learned so much from being wrong.
Unfortunately, I prefer to be wrong.
Yeah.
Because I get to take something from it.
Yeah.
And if I'm right every time, I'm not going to have the answer.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it means I only have one fixated perspective on whatever it is I'm
Right.
thinking about.
Well, if you're right all the time, you have no self-awareness.
No. Yeah, I almost said no S. Didn't do
Caught
that.
himself. He's
I
self-aware.
Self-aware. See? It's a real
We're learning
thing.
as we
I'm
go.
serious. If you're right all the time, you are not self-aware.
You're right.
Yeah.
And that is
crazy.
not okay.
Can that be considered like a narcissist too?
Yeah, to an
You're-
extent.
Yeah, you're on the
And I
border.
just watched that on Netflix. I don't do all that. That's not, no, we're not doing all that.
Oh gosh.
But it's real. Like
It
these
is
are,
real.
And so yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, I'm so
Those are some great
excited.
lessons.
I always looked up to you, even though you're younger than me, way younger. But
A lot younger.
Oh, damn.
kidding.
What are we doing here? Guys?
I get this all the time. People
That's
think,
good though. Y'all have to be
people think
able.
it's free therapy. I'm like, she should be paying me for all the digs I'm getting, right?
Dang.
But it's neat to see because I did and I still do. It's funny how looking up to someone doesn't mean they're younger or they're older.
No.
It's just leadership.
It's leadership.
And I will say
agree.
this to you. Your leadership in my life, in that chapter of my life, was so huge. Because, we all go through our little things, right?
Yeah.
But you saw something in me I didn't see in myself. And it started a cascade of Brandy buying a boxing machine, Brandy, and then making sure your kids are able to take care of themselves. And it's to me, I've always respected you. I've always looked up to you. But, man, you're just moving mountains right now. And I love
appreciate
it because I watch you through social media.
Nice.
And I think it's just amazing how God's kind of curated Chris and his
blessed.
walk and his children and his wife. And it just makes my heart smile to see someone that is so positive still. I know that there's so many things that are in store for you. And we want that update when you hit 40.
And I love what
I'll
she
tell
just
you.
said. I
You'll
love what
see
she
me.
just said about leadership not being about age. I mean,
No.
really, I feel like that is so huge. And I mean, I think people need to understand the power of leadership.
Oh,
Agreed.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you're a powerful leader, and I don't
Well,
think
thank you.
I don't think the big man upstairs done with you yet. So.
Yeah, I got a lot of growing to do.
Well, I think, but I also I want you to take away this. I know you say you got a lot of growing to do, but don't discount yourself for what you've
100%.
done. All these
I
people,
try not to.
all these people have you'd probably be fed a lot of stuff with everybody that took our class because
Planted a lot of seeds.
you really did. Yeah,
Have you talked to anyone that used to be in our class? Probably not.
not really. Why? What's going on?
People still just reach out to
I
me
bet
as
you
you
they
have.
do.
So
I
I
bet
have
you they
great
do.
conversations.
Yeah.
And even just checkups. Like I don't physically have to be there for people anymore.
Yeah.
But just to see
Emotionally,
how-
just letting them know. Hey, how are you
All right.
doing? Yeah.
It's cool.
So, but thank you so
Awesome.
much for being a
Thank
part of
you.
the
Yeah,
show
I
today.
appreciate y'all
stuff.
having
It's
me.
amazing.
Thank you so
Yes,
much.
thank you.
If you or anyone you know is struggling with mental health issues, please reach out to talk to someone you trust. Get connected to a mental health professional who can help you find ways to cope and ultimately feel better. If you are having suicidal or self-harm thoughts or thoughts of hurting another person, please go to the nearest ER, call 911, or contact the National Suicide Hotline at 988. Thank you for tuning in to Mental Perk. We hope our talk today highlighted real people working through real issues based on mental health. Our goal at Mental Perk is to make sure every one of you knows you're worthy. We're in this together.